All right, quick update on what I've been doing with the 3D printer. So, I finally, I guess, mastered the Fusion 360 thing. I wouldn't say master, but I know how to do it. But this is what I'm printing. This is a perfect cylinder with six uh, 6 millimeter square holes to take these bar magnets, but I don't have enough. I've only got 3 of them, so I've got some on order. But yeah, this is beautiful and it's hard, and it took less time to print this than it would have if I built it myself the old fashioned way, like this with the acrylic. I did some test print. Oops, hold on a second. I did some test prints on just half or just smaller discs. And I have this guy here, which is okay, but not very good. But the discs are perfect, but the holes are the center hole is a little off. So I've been refining it. This guy is a press fit. Then I also made these, I guess you'd call them bearing sleeves, because this is an 8 millimeter bearing on the ID, but a 6 millimeter shaft. So I can't believe I'm able to print something like this. And it works freaking great. I also printed coils. So this is a coil. Now I could print this in one go, print the whole thing in one go, but that would mean I'd have to put a lot of support material in here, and I found that getting support material out is a pain in the butt. So I printed in 2 halves, a slim half like this, and then the bottom half that has the inner part. And then by using acetone, it literally glues this stuff together. I can't pull it apart. But this is going to be a nice coil. It's going to have a lot of wire in it. Then I made a thinner one. It's going to have smaller wire in it. Don't ask me why I chose this shape. I just did. Again, this is all testing. So yeah, this guy came out beautiful. It really did. And it's, it's literally, well, I wouldn't say perfect, but closer than what I can do by hand. And so I printed these bearing sleeves, like I said, for this guy here. And I figured I'd just set it up really quick. This is glued down. So this is my favorite circuit, the JL94. Here's the load. And that's at 8 volts. I can't do it any higher, otherwise this thing will just fly. But what I'm going to do is, once I get some bigger magnets in, I'm going to set this up, this JL94 circuit. I'm going to set it up with this coil until I can wind those coils. So this is a bifilar coil. I'm going to set it up so that one is a driver and the other one is a feed coil. I forget what it's called. But just to see how much voltage I can get out of the second coil on here. But here, let me crank it up a little bit just to show you. That's 10 volts. It's starting to vibrate like crazy, but this is perfectly, I mean, these bearing holders are freaking awesome. Oh yeah, and these bearings are the ceramic bearings, which are really good. Let me crank it up a little more. There's 11. Whoa, let me turn. So here, let me turn it off and show you how long this thing spins for. Let me get the coil out of there so we don't get any lens effect. But these bearings will spin forever. Or at least for a long time. They spin really well. And so the next one I'm going to set up will be this guy once I get the magnets for that, just to see. So everything will be 3D printed except for the rod. It's a 6mm rod, so everything will be 3D printed. And this was one of the old rotors that I made by hand with the resin and stuff, which I don't have to do with this. Although I think I'm going to experiment and make some of these and then paint them with the resin. Let the resin soak into that just to give it some weight. But I think I'm going to take the two giant 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch magnets out of here. I think these are 4 inches by 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. I'm going to get those out of here. I'm going to do like I did the last time and do some acetone and just get them out of there. And I'm going to build a rotor like this. And yeah. So I think the next thing I'm going to do too is wind one of these coils. So this coil I'm going to wind with really thin wire, and I'm going to use that new Hall sensor I have with it so that I can, and I'm going to make it in such a way where it's self-contained. So it'll have the thin wire in here, it'll have the Hall sensor, you know, fastened to the top there, where I can just plug and play. And then this guy, I think I may actually build another one a little bit bigger and a little bit wider or longer so that I can do a proper bifilar coil. I don't know how much wire I can get on this, but it'll be interesting to see. Anyway, thanks.